Hey y'all, it's Dr. Shamanda. Welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things mental health, personal finance, and overall strategies to live your best life. Alright guys, so happy Friday. It is a car chit chat type of day. I do have my day 6 video coming out, so make sure you check that out in a little bit. But I'm actually sitting in my car. My daughter has an interview today, and so I thought I'd take this time to update you guys on what I'm dealing with in terms of work, jobs, career, and all that kind of stuff. So today actually marks it marks 3 weeks from my official final last day working my job, but not just my job, but a W-2 job or job ever. That's the goal. And so I wanted to check in with you guys and let you kind of know like what I'm experiencing during this resignation period, all that good stuff, just kind of behind the scenes of my own process of this, right? Now, if you're new to my channel, you know that I am a licensed therapist. I'm licensed in mental health and addictions in North Carolina, and I help people heal their relationship with money. I work specifically right now in my private practice with high achieving women and, codependency, burnout, anxiety, things of that sort, but specifically, focus on money and how that impacts their world. And so why does that matter? Because I'm literally a version of my client, right? And so I'm going through my own career transition right now. And so I definitely understand what it's like to deal with something and have all of these pieces that could possibly weigh on you, like being the breadwinner or the successful person in your family, or being responsible for other people, right? You guys know that I have 2 teenagers. My daughter, God willing, will be 18 at the end of this month, and my son just turned 19. So I have these 2 young adults, and it feels a lot easier. Let me just say, like, I'm not even gonna act like, oh, I got 2 toddlers I'm chasing and it's hard. It's definitely a lot easier because they're older, they're more independent. And as you can see, my daughter's, working on securing her part-time job. They're working through their decisions regarding college, career, all that stuff. But it's so much easier now. There's other pieces to it, but, we'll talk about that in another video. But anyway, what that does for me, though, y'all, literally is it allows me a little bit more freedom to make decisions. Whereas previously, I couldn't just do this. Why? Because there was so much more financial responsibilities, like daycare, right? Benefits, health benefits. Like if both my children secure jobs, they can get their own health insurance. So then I just focus on me. Like there's so many pieces to it now that just aren't as stressful. And so that's kind of what I've been thinking about this past week as well. Hold on, my daughter's coming. Hey y'all, I'm back. Now I know I'm in a completely different setting, but I'm back in my office. Because my daughter, as soon as I was filming, my daughter walked out. And I was like, wait, what's going on? By the way, she did get the job in less than 10 minutes, y'all, interview. Now she is kind of returning back to where she came from like a year ago, which I'm really proud of her because she quit after about 4 months or so. But that was because she was, having some challenges. But she was doing excellent. And so, it's really good to see her work through the emotional... Sorry, somebody was calling me. The emotional side of what she was struggling with at this job. But she said she walked in and the lady was like, we want you back, we want you back. So anyway, y'all, obviously I coach my daughter. And there's literally never been any job she's ever interviewed for. She's always gotten it. And so I help her through the mindset pieces of that. And yeah, that's what I'm excited to do for more people. Y'all, I'm telling you, I'm good at what I do, baby. One thing about it. Anyway, I don't know where I left off at, y'all. But one thing I wanted to touch on was just kind of letting you guys know how I feel, like honestly. So if I had to say like the emotions of how I feel about this transition and being 3 weeks away from officially being done with my job, I would say I'm excited, like really excited. Some people struggle with the feeling of anxiety versus excitement because they can feel the same to a certain degree. Like sometimes it's confusing, like, am I nervous and anxious about this or am I excited about it? And I'm excited. I know what it's like to live with anxiety. And so this is definitely not anxiety. I'm not anxious. I'm not really worried about anything. There's honestly a level of calm about it, which is scary because I'm not used to feeling calm. I'm always kind of, excuse me. And so to be this calm is crazy. But that's how I know, y'all. Seriously, that's how I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Because it's like, okay, what's the worst that could happen? If something crazy happens or something happens that I'm not prepared for or whatever, I'll figure it out. Like, I think there's just a level of faith that I have in myself, a level of just confidence, I believe, right? I've been doing this work for a long time. Like, I know that I'm going to get the clients that I need that are aligned for me and with me. I know I'm going to make the income that I want and more, honestly. I just believe. There's a level of belief that I've never had before. And things like my daughter getting her job, which obviously helps me because she can pay for stuff that, girl, that's extra stuff. Like, so she can do all the fun things, all the, and it just takes a little weight off of me in that regard. And then now my son, he'll be finding his job or his source of income or building his business, whatever, right? That's just even more confirmation, right? I would say the other feeling that I have is empowered. So I feel very, like I said, confident, empowered, a level of belief in myself that I've never had before. And I feel like I guess gratitude would be the third one. I'm grateful. And I'm grateful for myself, for showing up for myself. Like, I'm grateful that I'm finally willing and able to step out on faith and do what I am called to do. Do what feels in alignment with me. Get my life back, y'all. Like, being able to, like, determine what my schedule looks like. I am, and like I said, I'm in a coaching group, business program with other therapists that have private practices, specifically like premium self-pay practice. And I'm seeing these women, again, that are charging more than I would have ever thought was even possible for therapy. And I know people have their own thoughts about, is healthcare, accessibility and all that. I promise y'all there are like hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands, I'm going to say at least, right, of therapists out here who charge $50 a session. Please, by all means, go find them. They are everywhere. And the programs, again, keep in mind, I teach. Well, I'm not teaching right now, but I've taught for years as a, counselor educator. So they're coming in every year. More and more counseling students are coming in. So there's not going to, I don't think there's a shortage. You know what I mean? I think there's a shortage in demographic of a certain type of counselors coming into the field. But there's not a short, like, there's a lot of counselors who are like overwhelmed, overbooked. They don't even have space. You know what I mean? Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because more people want therapy, and I think that's amazing. But I promise y'all, you can go on any of these big platforms and just pick your therapist. Therapists like me, we are niche. We put in a lot of time and value, training, experience, all that, y'all. So we can command what we command because we know the value that we're going to be giving. This ain't no just, so how's that feel? Like, no. No, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I digress. So I feel excited, empowered, and grateful. Okay. I think it's important to, again, for somebody who's going through this probably right now in this phase, it's important to know that you can be clear or like have a sense of clarity on the goal and what you want for yourself, but also have a level of fear, if that makes sense. And I always teach my clients that you can have multiple feelings at once. Like, you can be grateful and tired. You could be excited and a little overwhelmed. Like, you can have multiple feelings. So you could be clear. Like, I'm very clear. But there could, in the background, maybe next week, my emotion might change. And I could be a little fearful, a little nervous. So just know that if you're on this journey too and you're getting closer to your day, that might come up. You might have those, mix of emotions. I have my notes here. I just want to make sure I was hitting on everything, y'all. So what am I learning in this experience in these last 3 weeks so far? I would say that learning to embody the identity of the woman that I'm becoming and the entrepreneur that I'm becoming. And it's already happening, y'all. And I'm going to tell you how I know, because it's really hard to show up every day at these jobs. Like, it's really hard. If it wasn't for my clients, I would have been like, I can't do it. But I show up for them every week still, just to finish out my it's not even a contract, but my agreement, my verbal agreement, commitment to do the 30-day resignation. And quite frankly, I actually gave them more than 30 days. I actually did more like 45 days, more than like really, which we'll talk about that in a second. But I already have the identity of a woman who is a multimillionaire, who runs a multi-million-dollar business, right? And who owns her time, who values her time, who would never allow any company to dictate how much money she earns per hour, who values health. So I get up every morning and work out and all that stuff. And it's really hard because my mind is already there, but like the logistics of my day and time aren't there yet, right? Like this past couple weeks, I have not been able to go to the gym like I want to. Like I haven't been to the gym at all. Like I'm going to start back this tomorrow. That's the goal, just to getting back moving. But I never want to lose that again. Like every morning, I want to get up and go to the gym. You know what I'm saying? And a woman that fits the identity that I have now, that's what she does. She takes care of her body. I don't know, gained like about 7 pounds. You can see it in my face. Y'all might be like, yeah, please. But for me, I know when I gain weight, it's like first I can see it here, but y'all gonna see. You don't see the shred. Anyway, I would say knowing my numbers is the other thing, right? So looking at budgeting from a different perspective, though, right? Not the whole fire movement perspective. I told you I let go of that whole frugal fire, all that stuff. That's not really where I'm at no more. But I know my numbers. I know how much income I need to make. I know that I need to have a contingency fund, right? Meaning, if something happens, where can I pull this money from? You know what I mean? So knowing that, making sure that I'm doing that, and setting myself up for the next 90 days that I don't have to even think about money. So if I get clients, that's fine. If I do, great. But for the next 90 days, it's really about me getting in touch, like, with myself, the new version of myself, really relaxing, taking off that 9-to-5 mindset, completely shredding that identity completely. So being a soft girl, basically, like really understanding what that feels like, living that, like, that's what that looks like for me. I would say the first 30 days. That's probably what I'm doing. Obviously in the background though, right? Still building my business, marketing, promoting my brand, filming content, all that stuff. Like I'm doing all those things, but in the container of this new identity. So that's one thing I would say. And then also just knowing that, like, I think the whole not rushing piece, right? The anxiety piece of me, or the anxious person that I was, which I don't identify with anymore, I'm working on, right? It's not rushing, right? Just truly allowing things to flow, operating out of ease and flow. So that's the focus. Yeah. So let's talk about the timeline just really quick before I wrap up here. So when after I came back from my colonoscopy, I gave my resignation that next day. So that probably was look at my calendar, but it's February. So the 20th, I think. So technically, y'all, like the 20th, Friday after next would be my 30 days. But I ended up telling them the 27th. So I just give an extra week. It's really hard to stick to that. And even if I didn't last the last final week, I'm technically within my 30 days. That extra week is kind of like a cushion as far as funds, like money. It'll give me a little bit extra, almost like a whole paycheck, basically. Because you also got to think like PTO and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of how I'm looking at that. But every day, y'all, I'm telling you, it's kind of hard because it's like, do I really need that? Because I could just be done in 2 weeks from now. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, ugh. What is this teaching you? It's teaching you how to be patient, to work through the rushing piece, the anxiety. Just stick to it. Stick to your word. Keep your word. This is your last job ever. If you truly believe that, then it don't really matter if it's 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now. And maybe there's something in that final week. I know for me, I'm planning to be virtual that final week. If y'all need me, y'all have access to me, you have any questions, whatever, you need me to do something, but message me, baby. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you know. Now, next week when I do my update, that might have changed, so we'll see. I might be like, yeah, y'all, next week my last week. You know what I'm saying? You never know. Anyway, y'all, I just want to give y'all the update on my transition that I'm leaving in 3 more weeks. And prayerfully, this is my last job ever. And I am going to lean into this full-time entrepreneurship, really pulling out everything that's in me that I have learned, that I have earned, that I have developed over these last almost 20 years in this field. I'm excited. All right, guys, I hope you like this video. If you like it, if you have any questions, if you're on a similar journey, if you are thinking about going into full-time entrepreneurship, if you have any doubts or questions, anything like that, leave me a comment below. If you are looking for a therapist in Atlanta and you want to do some work around this, especially if you are a high-achieving woman and you have some stuff going on, I'm your girl. Okay, my link is in my description. Check that out. Also, I'm offering coaching, so I'm available for that as well. All right, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.